Hey guys, Eric here out at the Bethlehem Golf Club. If you're new to this channel, my name's Eric Cogorno. I've been coaching golf for the past 14 years. We coach now exclusively at cogornogolf.com with our team. Would love to see you there if you're interested in improving your game. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the right shoulder and really one right shoulder move during your downswing that you want to have in there to compress your irons and hit the ball solid with all clubs really consistently day after day. We're going to dive into that in just a minute, but quickly a word from today's video sponsor. Hey guys, we'd like to thank our partners at Municipal. Awesome clothing, super comfortable, can wear everywhere. I'm wearing Municipal whether I'm at home doing our swing reviews, whether I'm at the golf course doing videos, hanging out at home, out to eat. You've seen some of the shirts that I'm wearing. I got the polos on here. They fit super nice. They're breathable. The Municipal hats that I like the white, gray, and black, but they have all kinds of different colors and patterns that fit super well. Would highly recommend. So we're super pumped to be partners now with Municipal. We can bring you them, show you their stuff. We're gonna put a code down below, Eric20. We'll put all that in the description down below. Would highly recommend you guys go check them out. All right guys, so let's dive into this right shoulder move. Now there's some things in the golf swing that a lot of players do different and are still able to hit the ball solid, but there are a couple things that they all do pretty similar. This is one of them, the right shoulder movement. Now, one of the questions came up in a YouTube comment down below, and the person asked, hey, I know I'm supposed to have my right shoulder go down during the downswing or drop the right shoulder, but when I do it, I'm hitting the ball fat every time. What should I do about that? And the conversation we had, I want to share with you, which is during the downswing, you need to have your right shoulder go down, and we'll dive into that. But what you need to do in addition to the right shoulder going down during the downswing so that you don't hit the ground way behind the ball are two things. Number one, as your right shoulder goes down during the downswing, your right shoulder also needs to go forward. It's got to go forward. So how do I drop my right shoulder and not hit way behind the ball? I also get it to go forward. We'll talk about a good drill for that. And the second thing is the closer your right shoulder is to the ground, the more I have to bend my trail arm and trail wrist. If you look at a picture of a really good golfer at impact who hits the ball really consistent, a lot of them are going to look something like this, which is their trail shoulder has gone closer to the ground compared to their setup and backswing. Their trail shoulder has gone forward towards the target compared to their setup and backswing. And their right arm and right wrist are more bent than they were when they took their setup position. So they match those two pieces up. Now, this gentleman and I were having this conversation, and really there's one good drill or feel that I really like. And that is if you take your club across your shoulders like this, the butt of the club's on the end of the left shoulder, club head's off to the right, and I make my downswing, normal setup, I want to actually get the club, from my point of view, to feel like it gets right behind the ball. So if I actually close my left eye as I do this, I can see the club head right behind the ball. You know, another image I really like would be if I sort of had a wall right here and I was taking my right hand and I was trying to slap this wall. If I had my left hand out here and I was trying to get my hand to hit that wall, my shoulders down and forward, my arms bent, and my right wrist is bent. Now, on the contrary, if I just drop my shoulder down and I don't do the forward part, that would look like this. But if I get my right shoulder down and forward underneath my chin, now I'm able to get the solid contact. And so really you have to do both of those things. You have to get it to go forward some, and you have to have the trail arm and trail wrist bent. So the first sensations I would have you do to feel this right shoulder move is this drill, and feel that get behind the ball. You should feel like your right side is kind of crunched a little bit and your left side stretched out a little bit compared to normal. And as with all drills, I want to grab a feel there and try and feel that same thing. My right shoulder feels down, low to the ground and forward. And I'm going to just start hitting. My goal here is to compress the ball and I'm just hitting a 7-iron here, for example, but my goal is to get the ball to come off hot and hit it solid each time and completely eliminate fats and thins. So I feel that same drill and that same motion. I'm feeling my right shoulder down and forward, down and forward. Right side's crunched, left side stretched out. And there's another solid contact. Now, as I'm getting my right shoulder lower, and when we see players on our site at Cogorno Golf, and when I work with players, I see the best ball strikers have their shoulder the most down and forward. They have the most side bend. The highest handicaps have the least. So I would be looking to introduce a healthy amount of this for the purpose of a couple things. So shoulder down and forward. Me having more side bend there is going to help with the club path working from inside. So when I have this side bend piece in, that's going to help me get that club head, arms and hands working from inside. It's also going to help me shallow out the angle of approach during my downswing. So solid contact, nice high draws, right shoulder down and forward. And those are all very solid. Now, the trail arm and wrist part that goes along with it. If I had this, I put the club up, we do this sometimes, right, as we sort of have the wall at the end there. If I got my right shoulder closer to the ground, I need to shorten these levers some amount. And so what I need to do is get the club head farther from that wall. I could do that by bending my right arm. That gets the club farther, and bending my right wrist gets the club farther and back. So when I take my setup position, my right arm is like this. But at impact, my right arm is like this. So that's quite a bit different. Now here's my right arm bend and my right wrist bend at impact. How do I get the club down to the ball? Right shoulder down and forward. Right shoulder down and forward. So if you get feeling your right shoulder down and forward, the side bend, head stays in the wall it started, and you're hitting it fat, I would start with keeping the right arm more bent during the downswing follow through. That'd be part one. So right shoulder down and forward, keep that right arm more bent. It's really going to straighten about out here, but if you're hitting those fat, I would feel like at impact my right arm's very bent, and even feel like it stays bent a little past impact. It's a bit exaggerated, but if you're feeling the shoulder down and forward and hit it fat, you'd keep the right arm more bent. And it really goes both ways. The more you keep your right arm bent at impact, the more you have to get your shoulder down and forward. Like all great ball strikers, if we put up a slew of pictures in here, you could see their impact positions compared to their setup, wildly different. So it goes both ways. If my shoulder goes down and forward, my arm needs to be more bent. If my arm's more bent, my shoulder needs to go down and forward, right? Those two work together. So right shoulder down and forward, right arm more bent, longer, for those nice compressed shots. And if you can keep it that simple, keep it that simple. If you're still getting some fat shots from there, then I would also feel the right wrist bent back into extension, more and longer. So right shoulder goes down and forward. Crunch the right side, stretch the left. The right arm's bent to make up for that distance, and so is the right wrist bent back. Shoulder down and forward, right arm bent, right wrist bent. Now, I would say you've known you've overdone the right arm bent and right wrist bent if you hit some thin ones. So if you hit them too fat when you do that, you're probably straightening the right arm, straightening the right wrist too much. If you hit them too thin, you may be bending them too much. You want to find a middle ground based on your contact. Shoulder down and forward, right arm stays bent, right wrist stays bent. It doesn't really happen, that's just what you're feeling as an exaggeration. Those nice solid iron shots. So that's the answer to the question, right? I mean, a couple of things. The right shoulder needs to go down and forward. Look at elite ball strikers from setup and look them at an impact and see the difference in the trail shoulder motion. It's a big difference. As you do that, to not hit behind the ball, you have to make sure your shoulder not only goes down, but it also goes forward. It's like that's coming right underneath my chin. Like there's a wall right here, and I'm hitting that with my right palm. Hitting that with my right palm. I never get there if my shoulder stays back. Got to go forward with it. And as I'm going down closer to the ground, I want to bend my trail arm and bend my trail wrist. Why not just keep the shoulder up and lengthen it? Number one, you'd add too much dynamic loft, so you'd hit the ball too high and too short. Number two, your contact would suffer, lack of compression. So the reason we're doing all this in the first place is solidness of contact, compression, hit the ball farther, more solid, things we all want. So again, if you're new here, I would encourage you to check out CogornoGolf.com. You can send in your swings there. We can see whether you need more of this, less of this, or what you got to do along with it, and really build a plan for you to improve. If you enjoyed this video, we're going to put another card on the screen, similar style trail shoulder video. Thank you guys for watching. Any questions on the right shoulder, leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this, share this with a friend, click that like button, helps us out, and thank you guys for watching.